beginning of the year. Why such a big disconnect? Is it all about the leverage?
Hi, yes. So a lot of it is leverage. So these companies, in order to buy the cryptocurrencies that they're holding, a lot of them issue debt to do this. So that means that the leverage that debt gave them, when Bitcoin is going up, they can outperform Bitcoin. And when Bitcoin is going down, they underperform Bitcoin. And that's across all of these different crypto assets that we're seeing. But there's also some other factors at play. There's been, like you mentioned, a huge explosion of digital asset treasury companies. We have over 150 public ones in North America alone. So the more of these companies that have popped up, the harder it's been to compete. And that's also why we've seen with these shrinking crypto prices impacting these companies.
Guys, every single second, 1 second, every single second, 127 devices connect to something. You're talking about phones, smartphones, Apple Watches, tablets, iPads, home security systems. And you know what nobody likes to talk about? Nobody likes to talk about the fact that you have no control over it. Guys, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, because we're going to talk about how Jasmy is basically breaking the barriers to get into this niche that's developed behind IoT and behind data infrastructure. Guys, you're going to like this one. Make sure you watch all the way through to the end. Keep those bell notifications. You know the routine. Let's go. Let's get into it. Everybody's going to know about Jasmy. So guys, as we get into this video, it's not like rocket science that we know that something's going on with the crypto space right now, right? We're looking at these consistent up and down, up and down, up and down, which is really amazing, right? So I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, something's going on. But what we do know is that crypto is actually making a footprint, and many countries are just basically figuring out how to regulate it. So in my opinion, we're going into an extended market or extended cycle, or the creation of a new bull cycle, right? So there's something fishy going on. Not fishy, it's adoption. It's 100% adoption. I mean, you look back at the last cycle, you had a lot of retail investors, maybe some small institutional investors with a lot of money. And now there's a crap load of money that is now hitting the space, right? So what I really want to talk about is not essentially how many partnerships Jasmy has or Junction and, you know, the boost of how far Junction's actually going to take Jasmy, but we're going to talk about the infrastructure, right? We're going to talk about the stuff that counts. Data infrastructure, IoT, right? We're talking about $1 trillion business model, and that's IoT and data. And you think about it, like, how many devices do you literally, like right now, if you were to just stop this video, pause it, count how many damn things are connected to the internet in your house specifically right now, not even including what you did throughout the day, and knowing that you have no control over that data. That's the power of Jasmy and what Jasmy's going to bring to the table. So let's get into some education behind it. And, you know, it goes back to like everybody having to understand like what Jasmy's really made of, right? Because there's a problem today. There's a problem that we have all this data that's floating around everywhere. I mean, you got devices everywhere. It's just too much to muster. So everything uses data, you know, and again, I'll preach this and I'll continue to preach this, that, you know, without data, you got no AI. So AI could never have been created without the data that's been constantly and consistently collected over time with your cell phones, with the internet. You know, it takes the internet and it takes you as a device, as a person, as an individual to utilize IoT. And then when you utilize IoT, you as that device makes all these big data industries rich. And again, Amazon, the prime example, one of the biggest companies and the most profitable businesses ever, period. I think Jeff Bezos worth a buku amount of money, but you have to understand that once they flip the script, once they hit that switch on IoT and data in a sovereign setting, meaning blockchain technology is going to take that data that information, and it's going to come back to you because everything's going digital. I mean, we see it, you know, they're already lining up the banks with XRP. They're already preparing for all these transactions to be on a blockchain. So blockchain technology is actually going to be at the forefront in the next 5 years. You know, most likely we're going to see huge transitions by 2030. And the next 10 years is going to be pretty interesting when everything does go to a digital setting, and these digital infrastructures are where the money is going to be made. So that wealth transition is going to come from these digital blockchains getting live, hitting the switch, and people are going to make massive, massive money, but you have to be invested in the things that matter. It's not going to be about who has the best meme coin or who's got, you know, the most hype behind their project. It's going to be about projects that actually have a meaning and that have utility to do something to contribute to this new wave of technology. And that's basically Jasmy fixing this data problem that we have. And that data problem is that we're giving all of our data away for free, utilizing IoT. Now, if it's on a blockchain, so if we think about it, you know, blockchain technology obviously makes decentralized finance, you know, what we want, right? So we want our finance to be in our ownership. You know, we want to use our own payment rail systems, transfer money from here to there in the speed of light and get it done across the world, however that may look. But you're in control, right? You're in control of that. And to even just pick on that a little bit, you know, stable coins are going to be where it's at. That's how you're going to spend $1 using a stable coin. All these other infrastructures are going to gain value immensely. And as long as you're invested in the right infrastructures, you're going to gain significantly. You're going to be part of that transfer of wealth in 2030. Let's talk more about Jasmy. Just to kick it all off, I mean, you should understand, as in crypto, Jasmy is built by Sony executives, meaning that these guys are not building something for nothing. They're not wasting their time and their effort and their resources to build Jasmy and not get nothing out of it. That's just insane. Yes, right now we see the price at a ridiculous amount. But guys, the market is ridiculous, period. But it's not tanking. It's going red, right? We've seen Jasmy 6 to 8, 6 to 8, 6 to 8, 6 to 8, 6 to 8. Everything else is up 10% one day, down 15% the next, up 16%, down 15%, up 16%, down 15%. That's all you're seeing. You're not seeing the market tank. It's resetting. It's repurposing. It's resetting. That's it. That's the best way to describe it. It's resetting, and something huge is coming because we know, based on all this stuff that we're seeing in the news, that governments are all in on Bitcoin. Everybody's trying to buy it. A lot of institutions are trying to suppress it. Why? Because they want to pick up more. Michael Saylor's going through it. Why? Because there's value in it, and there's something huge that they're trying to do with it. I think it was actually created for this point in time right now. If I were to look back, and I don't know who Satoshi is, who created Bitcoin, but that guy created that Bitcoin for this moment in time right now, because now it's going to be the lifeline for a global financial level playing field. That's the way it is. Level playing field for everybody. So if you're buying these infrastructure coins like Jasmy, XRP, Litecoin, Reactive Network, we need all these payment rail systems, ZBCN, you need supply chain, VET, you need decentralized finance, Ondo, World Liberty Financial, who else is out there? Arrow, right? Aerodrone, the base one. You guys know which one it is. We need Chainlink. We need Hyperledgers, QNT. We need XLM. We need all these big infrastructure coins that are actually going to do something for the real use behind cryptocurrency in this digital space. And that's why it's like super important that I'm telling you to buy Jasmy. I'm not saying buy Jasmy. I'm saying that Jasmy is going to be a huge infrastructure, and it's going to come based on having its footprint inside IoT and data. Jasmy put a footprint in IoT and data, basically trademarking that shit. If you look up Japanese trademarks, they got patents in there. So you got patents in digital asset, digital cryptography patents. You know it's going to be something very, very important. So think about these things when you're investing, and it's not necessarily me telling you to buy Jasmy. I'm telling you to think about a big infrastructure when it comes to investing in cryptocurrency. There are many partnerships that Jasmy has, but at the end of the day, it depends on how they perform and basically how they scale themselves out to correlate with the new wave of blockchain technology. And they're doing a really good job just behind the scenes. So before I close this out, just want to talk about data, and data being the biggest, in my opinion, it's the biggest, I would say it's the biggest demand in the entire world, because we have millions and millions of data collection hours and time to run and create artificial intelligence. If we didn't have data for artificial intelligence, I think that you would never have AI, period. And with Japan, if you study Japan, they have basically what is called a digital, it's a digital market, or a digital layout or foundation that they're building, that they're putting into place to really control and get a big portion of this blockchain technology. And they're already doing Web3. Japan's already, I believe, selling quantum computers, which quantum computers were only utilized by scientists and stuff like that. So it's happening. Everybody's going to know that data is the biggest and the most valuable part of Web3 technology. Guys, I hope you like this video. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, hit that bell notification. Guys, I'm not out here to sell you Jasmy. I'm out here to show you that data is freaking important. Internet of Things is important. And if you're not investing in any project that doesn't have anything to do with building an infrastructure, you might lose out. Be diligent, do your research, spend time, and make sure that you're totally comfortable and you totally understand what you're investing in, or else you're going to get screwed. Rise up, guys. Wake up. A new wave is coming, and it's coming quick. 2030, that's where it's at. Let's get it all the way. This is the crypto blueprint. Run my crypto. Love you guys. Take care. Bye.